Hi students. So in the previous class we have discussed about autotrophs. That means which are the living organisms are preparing their food by their own process. So those type of organisms we discussed in the previous class that are called autotrophs. It's a one type of the nutrition mode, and the second type of the nutrition mode is called heterotrophs. Its nutrition method is called heterotrophic nutrition. That means some organisms are preparing their food by their own process. Those are called autotrophs. Some organisms cannot prepare their food by their own process. So those are called heterotrophs. But we know already, if any living organism want to survive, they definitely should need food. If there is no food, they cannot get a proper energy. If there is no energy, they cannot survive throughout their life. They cannot do any work also. So, heterotrophs, they cannot prepare their food. But how they can continue their life? That is the topic we are going to discuss today about the heterotrophic nutrition. That means how heterotrophs can prepare their food, or how heterotrophs can survive their life. Okay, that is the topic we are going to discuss today. Okay, heterotrophic nutrition. That means these are cannot prepare their food, but they should definitely get food from anywhere. In our nature, the mainly we have plants only. We discussed in the previous class. Plants can prepare their food by the process of the photosynthesis. Okay, so the plants can provide food to heterotrophs. The plants can use food themselves also, and also they can provide food to the heterotrophs also. Means which are living organisms cannot prepare their food. Okay, some type of living organisms like some type of animals also cannot prepare. You know, and the plants and blue-green algae we discuss, and also oxygen-sensitive bacteria, they can prepare their food. But these are some other living remaining organisms cannot prepare their food. I told you already, not all plants can prepare their food. Which are the plants have contained the pigment of the chlorophyll? They only can prepare their food. Which are the organisms or which are the plants not have contained the pigment of the chlorophyll? They cannot prepare their food. Okay, so these are have not contained the chlorophyll. That's why they cannot prepare their food. Okay, how they work? We can discuss some examples. For example, I will tell you that saprophytes. Saprophytes. Okay, these are saprophytes. You may have, I think, listened in the previous class. What are saprophytes? Okay, saprophytes. Examples are like in a mold. Bread mold. Okay, yeast and mushrooms. Mold, yeast, mushrooms. These are some type of example of the saprophytes. That means these saprophytes cannot prepare their food. They should depend on others. So in our nature, which are the organisms have not prepared their food, they have special strategy to get their food. But not all have the same strategy. Individually they have a special strategies they have. Okay, I am telling about the saprophytes. Example I am telling mold, yeast, mushrooms. Some other examples we have. So these type of the saprophytes are cannot prepare their food. They have strategy like they can get the food from outside of the body. They can make it simple component outside of the body. Okay, they can make the whichever foods are outside, they can make it simplified, and that food they will take, they can survive. Example of bread bowl, yeast, and mushrooms. Okay, they can survive by taking food from outside. They can take simple material from outside. Okay, so this is some type of example, and without kill that others. Okay, they won't kill, they will take from it. Maybe especially a bread mold or mushrooms, we can see that mostly they are growing on the dead or decay materials. Dead or decay materials. We can see in the, for example, in the rainy season, we can see some type of the umbrella structures are growing on the which are dead or decay plants. Some umbrella structure we can see on that which are the dead plants are we can see, or maybe the type of the decayed plants, rotten plants which have on the type of the plant we can see some umbrella structures. Those type of umbrella structures are called mushrooms. They are taking simple food material from the type of the dead or decayed plant. It's a one type of strategy of the saprophytes. Okay, and next about parasites. Okay, next about parasites. Okay, parasitic nutrition. It's a one example. That means these are example of parasitic nutrition like lice, leeches. Okay, lice and leeches, and some examples like cuscuta. It's a one type of the plant. Okay, lice, leeches, cuscuta. These are examples of the parasitic nutrition. They have special strategy. Which type of nutrition strategy they have? They are taking their food from other organism without kill the organism. Okay, they are taking the food from other organism which have the food. For example, they have specially taking out the food. For example, they have not all organisms are take same type of the food. They have different kind of food they will take. So wherever there is a body of host body which can provide food to us, the host body. So that from the host body they will take the food, but they won't kill the host. They will take from the host body, but they won't kill the host. It's a one type of the nutrition method. It's a strategy of the parasites. Okay, these are some examples. Okay, and also we can see one more example like I told you, cuscuta is a plant. Cuscuta. Okay, they have also, I am telling, they have less quantity of the food they have. They have less quantity of food. Because of, they cannot prepare their food, they should depend upon others. Okay, what's the type of? Okay, along that also we can discuss about some living or like unicellular organisms also. Can you say what are the examples of unicellular organisms? Okay, unicellular organisms. That means which organisms are formed by only single cell. Those are unicellular organisms. They don't have plenty of cells. They have only one cell for manufacture, for formation their body. Those are called unicellular organisms. Examples are we discuss, definitely amoeba. Amoeba is an example of the unicellular organism, and paramecium. Okay, amoeba and the paramecium, these two are also some examples of the unicellular organisms, the amoeba and paramecium. But how they can prepare, how they can get the food, which type of strategy they have, that is we are going to discuss now. Amoeba, okay, what type of strategy they have? They have a specialized strategy. What that means? They have some false legs. Amoeba has no perfect shape. By the locomotion of the movements the body shape structure is continuously changed. You can see the diagram. Like you can see the amoeba, we can draw in any structure because it has no perfect shape. It has no perfect shape. That's right. So they have this type of legs they have, which is imagine like a legs. It's actually called as pseudopodia. It's actually called pseudopodia. They have no special legs, but those type of legs are called pseudopodia. It actually can form by two words. Okay, pseudo and podia. Pseudo means false. The means of the word pseudo. Remember the spelling also. Pseudo. Okay, it's a P silent. Okay, pseudopodia. They have a name false. It means of pseudo means false. Podia means legs. False legs. They don't have a specialized legs. It's imaginary legs. That's why it is called pseudopodia. These amoebas can be locomotion. That means they can be moved wherever the place the food is there. Wherever the place the food, they can be moved gradually. They can move gradually by the pseudopodia and they can cover the body completely. Okay, and which is the membrane, the cell membrane can be opened and they can be taking the food into that inside. Okay, there are inside of the body, they have some specialized vacuoles are presented. Some type of food vacuoles are presented. Those type of the food vacuoles can capture the food, they can make it digest. Okay, they can be moved to the place, their cell membrane will be break out and taking the food inside, and the food vacuole they can be take it is inside and they make it digest the food. It's a strategy of the amoeba. And one more strategy of the paramecium. It's a what's the strategy of the paramecium? Okay, I told amoeba has a specialized legs, those are called pseudopodia, as well as paramecium also. I will show the draw structure. Yes, like an paramecium has this type of structure we can see. Okay, it's like a paramecium structure, and but how amoeba has a pseudopodia for movement, for movement. I mean to say for locomotion. Same as well as in a paramecium also they have a specialized locomotor. These are called cilia. Okay, they are called cilia. These cilia are helping to moving in the water. They can be moved into the water. Wherever food they have, they take the food and they can be take it inside, as well as the inside the dish will be going. It is a strategy of the paramecium. Okay, these are some different strategies of the saprophytes, paramecium, parasites, and unicellular organisms. Some examples like amoeba and paramecium. You can say some more examples are Euglena and Chlamydia. These are some examples. Okay, but some organs are some are unicellular but cannot prepare. All unicellular organs can prepare their food. All unicellular organs cannot prepare their food. Okay, maximum, like when I told you some example like algae only, some type of the algae which have a pigment, specialized pigment, they only can prepare their food, not all. Okay, I told some examples of unicellular, example like amoeba and paramecium, how the strategy they have. Okay, and also we discuss here like in a cuscuta. Okay, let us discuss about the nutrition cuscuta, how it is. It's some type of plants. Okay, nutrition method in cuscuta means parasitic nutrition in cuscuta. Okay, parasitic nutrition in cuscuta. Okay, example I will tell you the plant of the dodder plant. The plant is dodder plant. Okay, it belongs to the Convolvulaceae family. The dodder plant belongs to the Convolvulaceae family. Okay, they also cannot prepare this. They looks like wings. They have a special some structures are present. The wings. They can be twin around some other plants. They can be spiral around another plant. You can see some type of these are some examples. It is look like creepers. How those are can be grow around the spiral around another plant like the type of the creepers it is. Okay, but these type of the dodder plants, this type of dodder plant have not contained the leaves. They have a minute leaves. They have minute leaves. Those are made to look like a pink in color or brown in color or yellow in color. Okay, any other color. They have a very less quantity of the chlorophyll. That chlorophyll is not sufficient for preparing their food. Okay, this type of dodder plant has minute leaves. They have a very less quantity of the chlorophyll, but this chlorophyll is not enough for preparing their food. But how they can prepare? They cannot prepare. How can they survive? That is we have to discuss. We also cannot prepare our food. We should be depending on others also. As well as some type of the plant I said, example of the dodder I am saying, it is also cannot prepare their food. But how they can survive? Can we live without a food? Cannot. Same as well as plants. Even you and myself or some other plants or any insects or whatever the living organisms in our nature, whatever the living organisms in our environment, without food they cannot survive. So they should definitely need food. Okay, so which type of the food they will take, which type of the strategies they have, that is very good. Okay, in the strategy of the dodder plant. And parenthesis, it has a very less chlorophyll. That chlorophyll is not sufficient for the photosynthesis process. But how they can, that is a doubt. How they can get nutrients. Okay, so that is we are going to discuss now. Okay, so how that is means they have a specialized anchor roots, which is anchor shape of root they have. The anchor root is called Hastoria. The anchor roots are called Hastoria. The Hastoria roots are helping for getting nutrients from others. That means which can prepare their food. I said that they are not in a proper green color. They may be pink or brown or yellow color, anything color. So they have some type of anchor shaped roots. They have like a hook shape of roots. Those roots are called Hastoria. Remember, it's very important. The roots are called Hastoria. These Hastoria roots are helping for penetrating into that other organisms which can prepare the food. Okay, I have told you already, these are look like a creepers. It will be spiral. It will look like a spiral creepers like that. So I told they have a very minute leaves they have. Okay, they have a specialized Hastoria, anchor type of roots they have. These anchor roots, they will be keep inside to the which plant prepare the food. A spine roots, they can be injecting the roots into the other plant, which is a autotrophic plant. Some autotrophic plants are there. In that autotrophic plant, they will be keeping inside the roots inside. They will be penetrating inside the Hastoria roots, and the roots can be entered into the place of the xylem and phloem. You know already the previous classes, 10th class, xylem and phloem. Xylem has to transport water molecules throughout the plant, and the phloem helping for transporting the nutrients. Yes, am I right? So xylem can be helped to transport the water molecules. Phloem can be helped to transport the nutrients. So these Hastoria roots which have contained dodder plant, Okay, the daughter plant has to get the anchor root can be penetrating into the xylem of the plant. These roots can be taking water from the that host plant, and another some type of roots enter to the phloem. From the phloem, nutrients are presented. Those nutrients are taken from the Hastoria plant. That are taken from the Hastoria, from the, sorry, not Hastoria plant, Hastoria roots. Okay, so we can understand that means they can be penetrating, they can injecting their roots into the host plant, which plant prepare their food. From the plant, they take the water molecules, whatever they need, or food, whatever they need, they will take from everything from the plant. They will take everything from the plant. It is a one type of strategy of the donor plant. It's a strategy of the donor plant. Okay, by the processor, they can be get the food for continuous life. Sometimes because of the injecting the Hastoria roots into the host body, sometimes host may be die or sometimes it may not die. Some it will be die. It depends upon the effect of the Hastoria roots. Okay, it's a type of the one type of the strategy in the place of a daughter plant by using the Hastoria roots. You can understand what the strategy it applies. It applies strategy by using of the Hastoria. Have you clear? So I said some type of the nutrients are, some type of the methods are how they can take. Some type of strategies are discuss about saprophytes, about parasites. Okay, some unicellular organisms like an amoeba and Firmicutes also discuss. It's a strategy in some living organisms are how they can get the food. Understand? So let us come to the topic of in a human being. Okay, let me discuss in a we are heterotrophs. The living organisms also heterotrophs. We are some of the examples of the heterotrophs are human beings also. We also cannot prepare the food. You have a doubt. I can prepare my food myself or my mother can prepare the food. Not we are preparing our food. We are taking the food from the plant. That is we are preparing what our wish. Okay, I mean to say we also heterotrophs. But how can we? That is digestion is must need. You know, you have idea about it. Digestion. Digestion, you know. Okay. Human being, how? Human being, nutrition in human being, how is going on? Which type of nutrition is going on in human beings? Okay, that is we shall go. What type of strategy human beings will be? Okay, nutrition in human beings. Nutrition in human beings. Okay, we have a nutrition in human beings are we have a complex. We have a plenty of parts are participating in the nutrition. For example, we are taking the food for getting energy. We are taking the food for getting energy. Without a food, we cannot get energy. So here, there are plenty of the parts are participating. Whenever the food we can keep into the mouth, when the food is entered into the mouth too, it's going to be inside stomach, you know. So there are plenty parts it will be rich. What's going on inside? We are taking the different types of the foods we are taking. A complex food we are taking. That means not we are taking simple food, we are taking complex food materials. If you want to take any food item, it contains of plenty of items. That's what it's called complex item. It's a complex material. So how this complex material can be digested? How this complex material can be digested? For digestion, it has presented plenty of the parts are participation for make the digestion of the food. Okay, that is. Okay, that's elementary canal. alimentary canal. Okay, this alimentary canal, it's a long tube structure. The alimentary canal is a long tube structure. It starts from the mouth and to the place of the anus. This alimentary canal can start from the mouth and in the place of the anus. Start digestion and digestion place. Okay, alimentary canal, it starts from the mouth and ends from the place of the anus. Okay, it's from mouth to anus. Mouth to anus. The two, it's a going on. So actually, we are taking the nutrient foods. The nutrition method we are discussing now. So remember about the alimentary canal. Okay, remember this type of the boards are. I think in the previous classes you did not listen these type of the boards are. Okay, so that's why remember this terminological course. Okay, keep in your mind, it will be useful for complete of the life, because we know the science is giving an additional information which is help to know about our life. Okay, coming to the 10th class biological topic is mostly helping for to know complete information about our life. So that's why remember the whatever the words I am saying, you should be focused and keep in your mind. Okay, so alimentary canal, remember this is it's a one type of tube structure which is start from the mouth to anus place. Anus place means where the place of a dung is going outside. Where the place is the dung is going out, it's called anus place. Okay, so then we can see. Okay, alimentary canal, it's a tube structure start from mouth to anus. Okay, what is going on here? So that discuss about, now we are discussing nutrition method. Means, first of all, we should know about what are the nutrients we should definitely take to continue about our life. Okay, there are some type of nutrients in our foods. Can you say examples, sir? The nutrients are carbohydrates, yes, and second one proteins, and fats, and vitamins, and minerals. These are the nutrients are definitely what we should be have to take throughout our food. Okay, that's the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. These five are the mainly the importance to our food. Without this food, without the nutrients we don't need to take a food proper. If you not take this any nutrients the food is not a complete nutrition food. You have to maintain this all they have individually they have a proper importance. What is the importance we shall be discussed in the coming classes. What are the importance? I hope you have already learned about this type of the nutrients importance in the previous classes. Okay, we shall discuss also later. Okay, so mainly the nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. These five are called nutrients. Okay, so when I am taking the food, whatever the food time I am taking, even I am taking the dal curry, even I am taking the green leaf vegetable curry, even I am taking the rice, whatever the food item, along that food item we are mixing the plenty of items. We are mixing the plenty of items. That means it's a complex food material. What we are taking? Complex food material. The complex food material. That means contains of the plenty of items. These complex items, when it's going into our mouth, when it's going into the mouth, it's going on something inside in the place of the stomach. What happening there? What's happening inside of the stomach? Okay, if I ask you, you can say digestion. Yes, okay, of course, it's a digestion, right? Okay, it's a digestion. Okay, digestion. What's the meaning of the word digestion? Can you say the definition of the digestion? Okay, the meaning of the word digestion is called the breaking down of the complex food material to simple material. Breaking down of complex material to simple material is called digestion. The complex material means the plenty of mixing of all materials is called complex items. If the complex items are found secondly, breaking down like a simple material is called digestion. It is going starting from mouth to inner stomach is going on. Plenty of the works are going on. That is the work is called digestion. After digestion, the simple materials can be provide energy to us to complete our actions, whatever we are doing. The movements, the works, whatever you do, it will depend upon that. Okay. Okay. So, first of all, the digestion starts from the mouth. Okay. I have taken some food item. Okay, of course. I am taking some food item. It enter to mouth. Okay. Then we start the grinding food by using of the teeth. Okay, by using teeth we can be grind our food. Okay, instead of a mouth we have one more like some jelly item we have. That jelly item is called saliva. Saliva. Which is a liquid is present inside of a mouth. It's called saliva. Is it any importance or not? Yes, of course, it has some importance also. What is the importance of the saliva? Okay, so when you are taking the food, if I am taking any food item or maybe the fruit or whatever the food I keep in my mouth, my teeth helping for grinding and my tongue is helping for moving the food to different direction to grind the food properly by using my teeth. Okay, at the place saliva, the saliva is helping for moving the food easily. It's helping for the food moving easily. Not only that, is also saliva is also contain some type of the chemicals also. In digestion of the food, when it's going into our body, the different chemicals are participation. Like some enzymes, some gastric juice, these type of some materials are participating in the digestion. Okay, saliva. The saliva is secretion from the salivary glands. Saliva is secretion from the salivary glands. Okay, the saliva is secretion from the salivary glands. In our mouth, there are 3 pairs of salivary glands we have. In our mouth, 3 pairs of the salivary glands we have. Okay, I'm saying to you already, saliva is some type of the liquid material which is like a jelly that helping for moving the food easily through the food pipe or esophagus. Okay, esophagus. The food can be moving easily through the food pipe. I mean, when I take the food, when I take my food, the food can be passed through the food pipe easily. A slippery movement is going on. That will be done by the saliva. Okay, by the esophagus. That means it's a food pipe. Like it's a food pipe. Esophagus form. Okay, so saliva. It has in our body the saliva is secretion from the 3 pairs of the salivary glands. We have 3 pairs of salivary glands in our mouth. Where are the 2 pairs are? One pair is beside the jaws. Where are the jaws we have? In the place of jaws, we have one pair. And one pair below the tongue. And one pair is located in the place of the palate. One pair in the place of the palate. Okay, 3 pairs. One pair at the place of jaws, one pair below the tongue, and the third pair is located in the place of the palate. Okay, there are three pairs of the salivary gland we have. Okay, I said to you the saliva is helping for moving the food easily through the food pipe. Not only that, it is also helping for, it is also participating in the digestion. Actually, the digestion first of all start in the place of the mouth by the participation of the saliva only. The digestion the first of all start in the place by participation of saliva only. Because saliva, I told you, if your food has to digest mean, there should definitely participation of the some type of the enzymes, okay, and some gastric juice. Enzymes and gastric juice. So enzymes is one type of the chemical. It contains saliva contain what enzyme which is helping for digestion of food. Saliva contain one enzyme which is helping to digest the food. Okay, I told you that saliva contain the enzyme. His name is called amylase. Okay, the saliva contains the enzyme name is called amylase. It's also called as ptyalin. Okay, saliva contains the amylase enzyme. It's also called as ptyalin. Remember that. Look at the spelling here. P-T-Y-A-L-I-N. But it's a P silent. It's a ptyalin enzyme. Okay, it's also called as amylase or ptyalin. It's an enzyme which is present in the place of the saliva. That is, I told you the saliva helping for digest the food. Helping for digestion the food. What will you digest? I told you already. In our food we have 5 main nutrients. What are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. The 5 nutrients. The first of all digestion starts from the mouth. In the presentation participation of the saliva. It contains the amylase enzyme. It's also called as ptyalin. This amylase is helping for the digest of carbohydrates. Understand? So this amylase helps to digest the carbohydrates. In our food we have a carbohydrate nutrient. That carbohydrate nutrient is digested in by the presentation of the saliva, by the work of the saliva. Okay, I said that complex material is also like a simple material, sir. Okay, this digestion will be going on step by step. Not everything is going on. It will be going on by like a step by step. Okay, so ptyalin or amylase enzyme, it is present in the place of the saliva. That is helping to digest the carbohydrates what we have food. Okay, so those have to digest. And after complete digestion, okay, by the presentation of saliva also, the food can be passed through the food pipe, and so also called as I told the esophagus. Okay, by the esophagus it can be moving to the place of the stomach. It is moving into the place of the stomach. Okay, so after complete the carbohydration, the food is moving by slippery food material, saliva. It can push toward the food pipe or esophagus into the place of the stomach. And stomach it contains some gastric juice and HCl. The stomach is containing the gastric juice. HCl contain the gastric juice and HCl, hydrochloric acid. These gastric juice and HCl also helping for digestion. It is present in the stomach. Understand? Helping for the digestion. Gastric juice and HCl. Where is located in the place of stomach. Okay. First of all, what happened completed? The digestion start. The first of all digested carbohydrate by saliva, which are enzymes are amylase and ptyalin enzyme. And that one, after the food is passing into the place, the slippery material passing into the stomach, in the place of stomach, gastric juice and HCl present here. Okay, it helps for digestion also. And also, in that place, it happens on the work of proteins. In our food, proteins are present. Carbohydrate is completed. Next up, proteins are. The protein should be digested next in the step. The proteins are going to be digested. Okay, so the proteins are going to be digested by the enzyme name of the pepsin. By the enzyme of the pepsin. The enzyme of the pepsin helps to digest the protein in the stomach. In mouth, carbohydrates are digested by amylase. Enzyme name is called amylase or thymin. And in our stomach, pepsin is enzyme which has to digest the protein. After completing the carbohydrates and protein digestion, the food material will have like somewhat of semi-solid material. The food material is like semi-solid material. That semi-solid material is called as chyme. Okay, that semi-solid material is called as chyme. Chyme is a one type of a semi-solid digested material which is on the place of the stomach. Okay, it's a chyme material. Understand? These two are happens. The first of all, the digestion. Okay, remediation how it's going on, I will tell you. And now next we shall discuss about a peristaltic movement. Next we shall discuss about peristaltic movement. Okay, peristaltic or peristalsis we can. What's the peristaltic movement of? Okay, what's the peristaltic movement? It means the food which is digested in the mouth, that food material can be moving through the esophagus like a wave movement. The food material can move like a wave movements. Understand? That is called peristalsis or peristaltic movement. You know how the waves of the ocean, how the wave, the tidal waves of the, we can see find out how tides will come like a wave, how it's moving on. Same as well as when you're drinking water, and when you're taking the when you are swallowing the food at the place in the place of esophagus, the movement of the food will be like a wave movement. So we can see that wave movement is called as peristaltic movement. The wave movement is called peristaltic movement. This peristaltic movement has to be going on properly, means there should be definitely enough saliva. If saliva presented, it will be moving, giving to the food slippery. At that time, it will move very easily. That type of movement is called peristaltic movement. This peristaltic movement in our place of the esophagus is going on. Okay, and so I told you the proteins are digested and carbohydrates also digested. Okay, so peristaltic movement is said. So remediation of the fats also, remaining items, remaining nutrients also. Okay, the digested food of the after completion, I am telling the next step after completing the carbohydration and protein digestion in the place of the stomach. Okay, here the chyme is presented. I told the semi-solid digested material is called chyme. Semi-solid material is called chyme. Okay, the chyme material, it should be passed to the next step from the stomach to small intestine. It passed to the stomach to small intestine. Okay, the end place of the stomach and starting phase of the small intestine, it has presented one ring structure. The end place of the stomach, we can see find out that. Okay, here, like we can see here, the end place of the stomach and the starting place of the small intestine. Here is a one ring type of structure presented. That ring type of structure, it is called as, it's a one type of sphincter. It's one type of sphincter. It is called pyloric sphincter. It's called pyloric sphincter. The end place of the stomach and starting place of the small intestine. It is called as pyloric sphincter. It is helping for the movement of the food in a step by step. It will be moving like a, it's a closing and opening. The closing and opening. It helping for movement. Okay? It is a pyloric sphincter. Can pass to the place of the small intestine. Okay? After the food is passing into the small intestine, what is going on the digestion next step? Okay? After it going to the place of the small intestine, how the food digested? I told you the digestion happens that one. Okay? What happens here? That is we can discuss in the next class. Okay? That is, I hope you understand, and we can discuss about that. Okay? We can discuss about that. What are the primary topics to discuss? And remaining contents of the topic we will discuss next class. Okay? Thank you.